Chapter 1. Easy Training. I honestly returned Amelia's confession. Specifically, I told her, "I'm still a child and I'm your teacher, so I can't respond to your feelings." It's quite a bad answer. She got depressed, or rather, I thought she would. "I'm just yearning for you of my own accord, so don't mind it. That being the case, please pat me again from time to time, Amelia." Answering Sue with a big smile, she went back inside the household. Perhaps she favors me as a benefactor that she can depend on. At least, I think that's a strong part of her yearning. I think it's the kind of feeling where one wants to become like a person who achieved something great. In short, her romantic feelings aren't complete yet. It's safe. As I left her alone while sighing out a breath of relief, Noel came out looking stressed, as if she hadn't done enough already. It was annoying, so I ironclad her. NYA tilde quadruple A tilde. Go, good job, Emmy-chan tilde, Noel. Wow, you're praising Amelia while putting up with the pain. Your endurance is progressing fast, isn't it? Then, as expected, the one who stirred up Amelia was you. Her. If so, I'll take care of you thoroughly today. I left the fallen, dead-tired Noel and it became time for breakfast. Today's breakfast is French toasts made by D. Elena gracefully eats them, D nods satisfiedly, and eating relishly are Amelia, the Royce, and Noel. Even though you were limping just a short while ago, you recover real quick, huh? Seeing the two siblings eating that way, D talked joyfully. What do you two think, D? It's delicious. It's my first time eating something this tasty, Amelia. It's really delicious, big bro, D. It's amazing that you can make something like this, Royce. This is a dish I was taught by Serious-sama, D. What? Amelia and Royce. At this point, the faces of the two looking at me split into two kinds. On one hand, a face with eyes sparkling from amazement, on the other hand, a clearly unpleased face. No need to explain which is whose. There is no need to be surprised. Most of the dishes that D makes were taught to him by Serious-sama, Elena. That's right. He introduced a whole new world of flavor, Noel. Wow tilde, it's amazing, Serious-sama, Amelia. HMPH. This isn't tasty at all, Royce. This, even though he said that it's delicious just some time ago, the Royce seems to want to repulse me thoroughly. No matter how much of a child he is, it's still rude to the one who made the food, right? As I thought of scolding him briefly, Noel made a move ahead of me. Hey. Saying something like that is no good, the Royce-kun, Noel. Ooh, Royce. This is undoubtedly delicious. Here, it's more tasty if you put honey on it, so please eat, Noel. It's a delicious dish, Royce. Right? You wouldn't be able to eat it if not for Serious-sama and D, so apologize properly. All right, Noel. I'm sorry, Royce. Well done. As a reward, I'll tearfully split my share with you, Noel. Who the hell is that? Is it Elena disguised with Noel's skin? As I got surprised by her skills that made the sulky child apologize, Elena quietly whispered to my ear. Though she's usually like that, she is very good with children's treatment. She's especially caring given that those children went through circumstances similar to hers, Elena. She is very skillful at child care. Come to think of it, up to now, there wasn't anyone younger than Noel except for me. It's something like, since there was only me, and I don't act like I'm younger, her forte only appeared after the pair came here. I'll raise Noel's evaluation just a little. Big sis Noel. You don't have to give it if it's going to make you cry that much, Royce. No. I'm the big sister, so I can handle this much, Noel. Do you want me to cook some more, D? I do tilde, Noel and Royce. Maybe I shouldn't after all. Having finished eating breakfast, the siblings and I came to the garden. The training finally starts from today. Everyone change clothes to ones easy to move in, and for starters, we get to warm up exercises. Listen, it's different from fighting, but before practice, you have to do some physical exercises, serious. Why is that, Amelia? Because if you suddenly move violently, you might get injured. To understand your body, you have to exercise it or your reaction speed will grow dull. Regardless of the fighting, it'd be shameful if you get injured in training, right? Serious. Understood. Hey, Royce, do as Serious-sama said. Alright, Emilia. Alright, Royce. They mimic my movements and stretch repeatedly, and we stop when our bodies start to warm up. Well, to begin with, I want to hear about you two's abilities. Do you have any battle experience? Serious. I have a little bit. Though it's from hunting which perplexed my father, Emilia. I don't. However, I'm confident in my movements, Royce. I see. Then, I want to assess your endurance. Let's have you run in the garden for now. Serious. I shift my attention to the garden I ran through this morning. If one runs through this garden's outer course on a wide range, he'll cover a distance of about 1 lap around an elementary school's playground. That's easy, Royce. So how long do we have to do it for, Emilia? Until you pass out. Serious. The Royce and Emilia. What's with the shocked faces? Run until you pass out. You can't cross your limits if you don't know your limits. Fear not, for there is someone who'll take care of you even if you collapse. Serious. The someone who'll look after them is Noelle. I made here a hold-on standby at the end of the garden, preparing drinks and towels. First of all is stamina. Stamina is absolutely essential in order to take action, and there is no reason not to practice it. I come back to my senses and hit my hands together in front of the two whose focus stays unshaken. On the way, you also have to dash all out several times. And don't slack off because I'll be following you. Serious. Cut the crap. How can you suddenly ask us to do it until we pass out, Royce? Royce, we're going, Emilia. Sister, Royce. The younger brother can't hide his astonishment of his elder sister's resolution. He faces Emilia, who has a serious expression. I decided to follow Serious-sama. I'll run even if you don't go, Royce. Emilia. Alright, I'll go too. However, I still don't approve of that guy, Royce. It's Serious-sama, right? Name him properly, Emilia. Damn it, I meant Serious-sama, the Royce. Turning his anger into power, the Royce starts running all out in the garden, and Emilia runs after him while smiling wryly at that mischievousness. Their pace is reckless, but I like it, so I let them do so. After all, they'll pass out and be taken care of all the same. Hey, you have to catch up. Put more power in your feet. Serious. Damn it, Royce. Royce, run. It's no use to raise your voice, Emilia. Regulate the rhythm of your breathing with your feet. Even if it's difficult now, it'll make it easier for the future if you remember it. Serious. Yes, Emilia. I can do it, Royce. Do an all-out dash here. Serious. Yes, Emilia. You got to be joking, Royce. Your pace is falling. Are you reaching your limits? Serious. I can still go, Royce. Emilia. How many is it now, I wonder? Serious. Royce. Emilia. And so, 2 corpses appeared in the garden. The 2 had collapsed with a feeble breath, and Noel, who was next to the pair, nursed them while fanning them. I understand, I went through the same. You're not the ones with a problem. Serious-sama is just too abnormal, Noelle. And while Noelle talked heartily about her 3 days of experience in training, I kept running. The 2 are probably unable to answer, so I plan to keep going until their breaths calms down and they become capable of talking. After 10 minutes, Noelle waved her hand and called out to me. Serious-sama, Emi-chan and co are about to recover, Noelle. Got it. I'll go do one more lap. Serious. Having done a lap with all my power at the end, I stood in front of Emilia, who heavily raised her upper body, and Royce, who was fallen and not moving. How about it, you guys? Did you understand your limits? You don't have to force yourselves to talk. Serious. Emilia breathes heavily with a deep red face. She doesn't worry about her hair sticking with sweat and looks absent-mindedly towards here. On the other hand, the Royce is collapsed with a pale face and doesn't move an inch. One would wonder if he's dead, but it's safe because his belly is properly moving up and down. Take a proper rest while it's still time. You'll run again until lunch once you recover. Serious. The pair trembled with shivers to the words. Even if I want to object, I'm afraid that that's their limit. Serious, Selma? Isn't this pushing it a little too far? I think it is, Noelle. Really? They're having a steady rest, so it's alright. People are unexpectedly strong as long as they have the will. Serious. It doesn't sound alright at all, Noelle. So to say, in my previous life, I couldn't relax my guard even during breaks. It's because my teacher used to aim at me with rubber-coated metal bullets when I relaxed. Therefore, while I do rest my body, it only pushes me to remember the forced physical labor and to sharpen up at least a minimum. Never mind that, at any rate, for the time being, I'll just keep putting load on their bodies and squeeze them to the limit. I've now understood the limits of the two thanks to the endurance run. After this, they just have to redo the process repeatedly and earnestly. The problem is adjusting the difficulty so that the pairs can endure it and that their bodies don't break. They won't last long if I just act strict. After all, the foundation of education is the carrot and stick. Carrot, huh? What would be good for the two? Eating a delicious meal, of course. What shall I make for lunch? What do you want to eat? Serious. I'll go with the cutlet sandwich we ate the other day, Noelle. Me too, Emilia. And me too, Royce. You guys, especially the pair who died right there. You couldn't even reply just now, yet you respond to the food. To think that just a meal is enough. Are the beastskins that obsessed with eating? After that, the break ends and I make the pair run again. This time, the goal is to keep running until noon rather than until falling. I point out their pacing, but although they do take a walking pace, their feet don't stop. It's a training that's instilled in the body and improves the physical strength while moving. One would think that such a training is bound to become unpleasant, but the two were honestly making light of it given that they kept going patiently. Especially Royce. I thought that he'd rise up some trouble since he opposes me, but having seen his sister continuing silently, he stayed obedient. And, one thing leading to another, the two lost their balance. And thus, the pair got through, and I rewarded the two who fell satisfiedly. Thanks for the meal, Emilia and Royce. One would normally lose his appetite from running that much, yet the two took 3-second servings of cutlet sandwich. Each one is considerably voluminous with thick oil, but they wolf them down regardless. What matters is that they seem to have some quite healthy steel stomachs. I think they'd be quite capable of eating steadily in any situation. Leaving the cleaning after the lunch to the others, I hold out some drinks before the two are immersed in their after-meal swelling. What's with the amazingly colorful things floating though, Emilia? There is spots of green, white and reddish objects floating on the mysterious beverage. It's understandable for her to question it. That's nutritional supplement. Though it tastes awful, with this meal you'll obtain plenty of the nutrients that you're lacking. Serious. Nutrients. What are you saying, Emilia? I don't know why it's good, but it's good, so drink it. Serious. By the way, I squeezed in various vegetables and fruits, cutting and mixing the parts that were nutritious enough. I also mixed in some honey, which made its taste barely drinkable, maybe. The faces of the who drank up were quite difficult. But it's safe, I'm drinking it too, so it's all good. Do you want to eat pudding to remove the bad taste? Serious. I do, the Royce and Emilia and Noelle. Although one cat-eared beastkin intermixed, well, I won't mind it. Having eaten the dessert, I give the following directions to the two who became satisfied looking. Next up is a nap. Serious. A nap, Emilia and Royce. The siblings look at each other's faces. I guess it's natural to be doubtful when someone who made you run to death just some time before suddenly says such a tepid thing. I say, a nap, but it's just a cat nap. Afterwards, you'll be taught by Elena. Though it's also important to forge physical strength, I can't afford to neglect culture and knowledge. No matter how strong one is, it's useless if he can't calculate and converse. Before, Elena was saying that she wanted to do a servant education. That made me think about combining that with the education course. Allowing the cat nap is for recovery as well as being a prevention from dozing off. You should lie down on the sofa over there for an hour. Serious. It is said that sleeping immediately after a meal will make one grow fat, but that's just the right thing for the skinny pair. One must first put on some fat to then turn it into muscles. Lie down, you say? That's pretty sudden, Royce. Just listen up and lie down. He's saying that it's alright to take a rest, so you should do so, Emilia. That's right, take a rest while you can. I'll sit in the middle of the sofa, so I want you two to sleep in a way so that your heads come beside me. Serious. Having tilted their heads at my instruction, the two do as I said. Sitting in the middle, there are the heads of the siblings lying on both of my sides, but they don't try to sleep and only look up here. What is it, Royce? Can't sleep? Serious. As if I could sleep in these conditions, Royce. I see, then, I'll do a charm for you that will make you sleep. Close your eyes. Serious. I put my hand on Roy's chest and I tap on it with my finger in a regular rhythm. The closer it is to the rhythm of his heartbeats, the better. What? What are you tapping my chest for, Royce? It's alright, so just concentrate on my finger. Serious. I continued with my finger's rhythm like that, and 5 minutes passed. ZZZZ, Royce. So easy. On top of the total exhaustion from the harsh running, there is also the after-meal feeling of a full stomach, so it's only natural. They quietly fell asleep next to me, or so I thought, but the elder sister was happily looking up my way. And here I thought she'd sleep without having to be told to, since she's a good and obedient child. Even if it displeases you, hurry up and sleep. You won't lose your fatigue otherwise. Serious. Yes. Say, could you pat me, Emilia? It can't be helped. Serious. He, Emilia. When I pat her head in accordance with her request, she closes her eyes and laughs in a satisfied mood. Surprisingly, after a few seconds, she settles down and starts letting out a sleeper's breathing. My hand sure is amazing, yeah, as if. Ooh, it's like a magic hand. This skill, I want to learn it too, Noelle. Their sleeping conditions were very satisfactory, so it was just a matter of having to make them relax a little. Well, the real thing is from here on. Serious. I put my hands on the two's head and I pour some mana inside in a way so that it doesn't disturb their sleep. In order to make it enter at ease. The trick is to make it diffuse in the whole body by osmosis. By giving a weak wound-curing regeneration activity to the whole body, the recuperative power of sleep greatly raises. Having continued for about 30 minutes, I part my hand, and separating from the sofa, I promptly sit at the table where some Japanese green tea is prepared. While drinking, my eyes landed on Alina, who was waiting with a smile. Thanks for your hard work. After the two get up, it's my turn, Alina. Please do what you have to. And since I was strict until just a little while ago, go easy on them, alright? Serious. Please leave it to me. I will make them into splendid servants who won't be embarrassed anywhere they go, Alina. Hold on, they didn't say that they'd become servants. You don't have to bother going that far. Serious. The servant education is a splendid education. Besides, it seems like it's just a matter of time, doesn't it, Alina? Elena turned her gaze toward the sleeping pair, and nodded with an together with Noel, who was also looking. Especially so for Emi-chan, it'll certainly happen sooner or later. My former self being the same, I can't see her taking any other path than that one, Noel. Though I understand where you're coming from, I think the girl is just idolizing me and that her love hasn't sprouted yet. After this, if she keeps on training, I think that she won't have the time to fall in love. Serious. When I'll add combat training, magic training and field training to the physical fitness, it'll be jostling. The girl's simple love will easily cool down then, won't it? That's too naive. A girl's love is infinite. No matter the conditions, love will prevail. Noelle. You read too many fictions. Anyway, Emilia is steady, but the problem resides with Royce, Sirius. That's right. I have inquired about his troubles, and that child is unstable, Alina. Unstable, you say? Royce Coon seems pretty energetic though, Noel. Alina and I share the same thought it seems, she explains to Noel while including her own opinion. Is it really alright? The siblings try to protect each other from being one another's only relative. Though that's certainly wonderful, but that's only if you don't change your point of view, Alina. Isn't it only natural? It's proof that they're important for each other, right, Noel? But what if something regrettable happens to one of them? For instance, let's take Royce. His whole point of living is undoubtedly his elder sister. If Emilia, say, dies, Royce will die as well. While those two do support each other, it's a very unstable alliance which will collapse completely if one side slips off, Alina. Since she vented up her pent-up anger on me, Emilia will try to find a new aim, but Royce only has his sister as of now, Sirius. Royce's repulsion towards me is clearly from jealousy. For his dear and beloved elder sister to look at me, it must be unbearably mortifying. That child is still too young. He acts tough, but his wounds from losing his parents are deep, and he's depending on his older sister without knowing it. We have to find him some other goal, Alina. That is so, well, fortunately, it's safe for now. He's training diligently for the sake of protecting his sister, so he can do nothing but go with the status quo, Sirius. There are still 2 years left before we get driven out of here. Though I'll go to school, I don't know how those two will grow, so, until then, I want to somehow do something. As Alina and I worriedly looked at each other's face, Noel suppressed her voice and laughed. You two are a little like a mother and a father, Noel. Hey, it's impossible in terms of age. Make me a big brother at least, Sirius. In others' words, am I Sirius Sama's mother? That's wonderful. Alina. Leaving the suddenly overcome with emotion Alina alone, we spent our time in a relaxed mood until the time of the two's awakening. The two who laid down for exactly an hour were woken up. Though they seemed a little drowsy, their physical strength was recovered, which strongly puzzled them. I make them run lightly to keep them awake, and the servant education of Alina begins at last. Then, shall we study about servants? It's difficult, so follow attentively, Alina. Understood, Emilia? Royce. They sat face to face on the desk in the living room, and I was looking at the scene sitting on a sofa. By the way, Noel and Dee aren't by the desk being attending to errands and cleaning. Since Alina is an expert maid, she fits very well the role of teaching people. Royce is obedient to her as well, so there is no particular problem in proceeding. Royce, today I'm your teacher. Say, yes, not, Alina. Why yes, Royce. The speech teaching begins immediately. While the change of manner of the usually gentle and tender Alina is shocking, it seems to accordingly enhance obedience. Being the master's underling, the servant is, naturally, a person who supports him from the shadows. A devoted heart is important for that. If you happen to meet a master that you want to serve, I believe you'll surely understand. Alina. Yes, Emilia. Royce. The two glance this way with each a different reaction. Putting Emilia aside, the Royce's face seems latently unpleased. Alina immediately turned sharp eyes towards Royce for his apparent mistake. Royce, instead of talking like that, answer with, I understand, Alina. But, I didn't tell you that I'd become a servant. I mean, I did not say that I would do that. What is the meaning of this, Royce? That's right, you certainly don't need to become a servant as you say, and that lowers the meaning of learning about it. However, mastership is not a story limited to Sirius Sama. Learning this won't hurt. For instance, the speech, Alina. Alina firmly reciprocates the actually plausible speech of Royce, but he seems not to understand well and tilts his neck in wonder. Speech is important. The high-ranked people will respect another person if she gives a good impression by talking politely, and above all, it makes you appear smart and elegant. Royce, do you remember what kind of impression the speaking of the adults who made a fool of you gave off, Alina? I didn't understand it well, but it was something very vulgar, Royce. That's what happens when one doesn't know polite speech, so cultivate yourself. Or do you want to become like that, Alina? Not wanting to turn out that way, the Royce frantically shakes his head with an unpleased face. Therefore, let's learn. Follow my and your elder sister's example and proceed in remembering slowly, Alina. Yes. I understand, the Royce. That's it, good child, Alina. She praised Royce and promptly patted his head. Though it's a simple carrot and stick, I believe it's very effective for children like Royce. In fact, he's smiling from ear to ear. Well done, Alina. Your speech will correct itself with time, so for now I shall show you a few attendant movements, Alina. Standing up without a sound, she shows off the attendant movements before the two's eyes. Though I see it every day, looking at it carefully again I think it's really splendid. Even her walking is graceful and her footsteps are barely audible. Her bow's angle goes like the tray of steadily moving water. This technique certainly could be the ideal attendant movement. The two were looking admiringly at the tender mother-like work face that she usually shows. She did various other movements, and after she finished, the pair spontaneously applauded. They came to want to applaud without even being told it, or rather, it's just that magnificent, isn't it? Thank you. It's simple, but it's because these are just basic motions. For now, will you give it a try, Alina? Yes, the Royce and Amelia. Thus, the two mimic the attendant movements, but it naturally doesn't go well, as expected. The footsteps were noisy. The bowing angles were shallow. There were endless things to point out, but Elena made them do it again several times without pointing out anything except for the big mistakes. Her policy is to correct things little by little rather than fixing everything at once. I blended in the teaching of walking around as well. Though they were surprised at my walking that didn't resound any footsteps, that's an assassin's skill, not an attendant's. But the rest could be helpful, so I learned the know-how, just in case. That's enough for today. The daily accumulation of experience is important, so you should think back upon it properly before sleep, Alina. Thank you very much, the Royce and Amelia. The attendant education took 2 hours, that's pretty short. I get them to stop it because the rest can be done another time, and I prepare the following training. However, before that, good job, Alina. Let's eat snacks or something while taking a break, serious. During the spare time, I made rusk and set it up on a table with some brewed tea. The pair had been waiting with sparkling ice for Elena to sit in order to sit themselves. They don't try to eat without permission thanks to their education. Elena sits down while thanking me, and our little tea party starts. I notice that a cat-eared beastkin has mixed in, but I don't mind. Yes, I don't mind at all. It's so crispy and tasty. Big sis Noelle, what is this, Amelia? I didn't make it, so I don't know. Serious, Sama, this is bread, right, Noelle? Yes, it's a sweet made from bread called rusk, serious. It's a sweet made by cutting bread into a long and narrow-sized mouthful and deep-frying it after coating it with sugar. When I explained how to make it, they were impressed by the extent of the change made to common ingredients with a little cooking. Fact is that common ingredients like these change in various ways depending on the way you use them. You shouldn't stop considering how to use them just because they're common ingredients. In short, it's important to keep walking ahead, serious. But that's just moving your legs, right? There is no reason to stop walking. That's not what it means. You'll come to understand that when you're older, just think about it for now. You'll eventually get it, serious. I don't really understand, the Royce. His face is bitter to me as usual, but didn't it become a little bit better? Like that, the female team was looking at our exchange while laughing. You'll have to teach me how to brew tea at some point, Amelia. Naturally, I'll teach you Sirius-sama's way of brewing, Noelle. It's just a little plus to the original way of brewing. It's not my personal distinct way of doing it, Sirius. That's not true. Though I used to be convinced that I had mastered it, it reminded me that I still have way to go before reaching the top. Alina. Is this tea Sirius-sama's, Emilia? That's right. Sirius-sama's technique is beyond mine. How is that even possible while you weren't taught any particular form of etiquette, Noelle? I watched and learned, Sirius. Who? The Royce and Emilia and Noelle. What's with those faces? Do they not believe me? Then, shall I try and display it like Alina did earlier? Elena, please act as the master, Sirius. It's my honor, Alina. And so, Alina is entertained as a master. With an elegant bow, the tableware's handling is done without a noise. It's a natural intervention that doesn't interfere with the master's actions. These are all things I learned by observing Alina's movements. Observing your opponent is an important and essential point in fights. If you practice that well, it's not difficult to perform attended movements as they are. However, since it's just an imitation, it eventually gets rusty over time. It would be impudent to compare that to Alina, who permeated it through her body and can do it spontaneously. Finally, I brew the tea and bow down, putting an end to the entertainment. Perfect. Both my body and soul were set off. What's with this sense of defeat? However, Sirius-sama is my master, not a rival. Therefore, it's all good, Emi-chan. All right, Noelle. The angle is. And so the foot goes, like, doesn't it? Emilia to herself. With eyes shut, Emilia mutters something. Could it be that she's doing image training? Her. Emi-chan, Noelle. She seems to be serious somehow. She might overtake you if you're careless, Noelle. Serious. In that case, it's time for special training. This big sister can't be defeated by someone she stands above of Noelle. Though I neither know nor care where she went to get, Noelle rushed out of the living room, full of motivation. It's strange. I feel like it became strangely noisy here and we didn't really get to rest much. Well, with the main culprit of the commotion not being here anymore, it should quiet down. Sister, Royce. I decided not to look at the lonesomely muttering Royce. I put an end to the break and start the following teaching. Reading and writing of letters, simple calculations. It's time to hammer the basic knowledge necessary for living into the two's heads. This is going to be taught by me in cooperation with Elena. Now then, letters and arithmetic are very important. Why do you think that is, Sirius? Well, do you know, Sister, Royce? Royce, how did we, who did not know those, end up, Emilia? We were cheated, the Royce. Correct. In short, your chances of being cheated will decrease if you know those two things, Sirius. Theft by false pretenses, document deficiency and so forth. There are traps everywhere in society. For example, a person who can't use arithmetic or characters, having signed a contract to get a 10 silver coins job, received only 6 silver coins upon finishing taking care of it. Though she of course complains. It's written on the signed contract that 30% would be taken as a referral fee and she can do nothing but reluctantly give it up. In addition, she doesn't understand the meaning of 30%, so she can't notice 1 silver coin being embezzled. Those are escapable if one knows basic knowledge. In order to see through injustice, one needs to have the knowledge necessary for the sake of avoiding being cheated. However, it won't be a problem when I think that if I get strong, it won't be a problem, Royce. Do you intend to just strike from the front like a monster? That just makes one look like a prey for thieves. Listen, no matter how strong one is, he still might be made to agree to wearing a subjugation collar and such without noticing. If you learn earnestly, you'll save yourself from the cheating adults and you'll defend those who you want to protect. That's right, knowledge is power as well, Sirius. It's a different world, but children still hate studying, huh? However, this world has less margin than my previous lives. There, you didn't have a choice but to receive the essential teachings and to instill them diligently in you. But it's also natural since the only thing he tasted is the bottom of slavery. Elena-san. Please teach me serious Sama's words from just now in letters, Emilia. It seems like you two were impressed, Elena. Yes, I thought his previous words were amazing. I want to save them, so I want to learn the characters fast, Emilia. All right. I fully wrote and accumulated his past wise sayings, so afterwards I'll show you my records, Elena. Please do, Emilia. Hold on a second, she wants to learn the characters in order to make a compilation of my quotes. What's with that? Rather, when did Elena even do such a thing? I don't mind a high will to learn, but I seriously want them to stop it because it's embarrassing. I made a simplified chart of characters, so as I display it, I compare the names of various things with the chart while teaching them. Since letters are things used every day, with perseverance and time, one is bound to remember them. The arithmetic comes to an end normally. Teaching them the digits up to 100, I made them understand those digits and made them repeat one-digit additions and subtractions. I even tested them by making them experience a simulated shopping after passing them 1 copper coin of allowance. I let them buy the remaining cutlet sandwiches from lunch. I told them they may eat them if they could buy them by calculating properly. Being at the peak of their growth and having become hungry, they're really desperate to eat. Let's say 1 unit of these cutlet sandwiches costs 3 iron coins. Then, how much change would you get if you buy 2 units of these? Serious. Well, for 1 copper coin it's, Emilia. The money of this world is all in the state of coins whose prices are decided according to their materials. Converting it kind of roughly into Japanese yen, it becomes the following. 1 stone coin is 1 yen. $0.008. 1 iron coin is 50 yen. 41 cents 37 cents. 1 copper coin is 500 yen. $4.13 3 euros. 1 silver coin is 5,000 yen. $41.36 37. 1 gold coin is 100,000 yen. $827.20 7. In addition, there seems to be the higher-ranking white gold coin and dragon gold coin, but I give up on obtaining that for now because it's impossible. As a reference, with a bunch silver coins, a family of 4 can live through about 1 month, I guess. Since the price is held by bartering change depending on the location, I can't say that's how it unconditionally is, but that's roughly it. While Emilia seriously calculated the amount of money, the Royce passed the copper coin to me and said, "Just make it what you want. Because in my case, I might eat more, Royce." I received the copper coin, and I decided to include a weak iron claw to his change. Hua. Why am I receiving the same thing as Big Sis Noel? It's a little painful, so stop it, please stop it, Royce. You got some nerves to give up on the calculation. This is what I'll do from now on when you do foolish things, serious. I figured it out. What's the matter, Royce? Emilia. Don't worry about it. So, how much is the change for 1 copper coin? Serious. It's 4 iron coins, Emilia. Correct. Here, have these cutlet sandwiches, serious. When I separated my hand from Royce and handed 2 cutlet sandwiches, Emilia handed her younger brother one of them. Big sister, my answer is wrong, Royce. I don't need as much as 2, so it's alright. Okay, Emilia. Though Royce looked this way, together with Elena, I faced elsewhere, feigning ignorance. The 2 were smiling while biting into their cutlet sandwiches. It's delicious even though it cooled down. Next time, calculate properly and get 1, alright, Emilia. Yes, Royce. The brother and sister's relation is excellent. Elena and I keep looking calmly at the warm scene. But, alright, we'll go run outside once you're done eating that, serious. The Royce and Emilia. My training is not over yet. Afterwards, I continued running with the 2 until dinner.